Member for Vancouver Hastings.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the government knows that a key challenge for the blueprint for skills training is finding sufficient job placements for apprentices. We know that there are challenges in getting the private sector engaged in creating those placements. The government needs to step up and support those efforts as well through the public service. With only some 331 placements in the public service, including municipalities and the such sector, schools, universities, colleges, and healthcare, it's hard to argue that the BC Liberal commitment to meeting this demand has been realized. If the minister is serious about an effective skills training program, the government needs to create substantially more apprenticeship placements in the public service. When will that begin?
Minister for Jobs, Tourism and Skills Training.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I thank the member opposite for his question. It is certainly important that as we face unprecedented economic opportunities in the province, we do need to deal with the issue of apprentices. And Madam Speaker, today in British Columbia, we have over $82 billion, Madam Speaker, in projects that are in the construction stage. And when we look to the future, Madam Speaker, that number rises significantly. We have over $236 billion in proposed projects. And Madam Speaker, we absolutely want to see the number of apprenticeship placements increase. We have worked very closely with organized labour, for example, in the province, who have brought forward a recognition that we consider looking at whether or not there should be requirements to have apprenticeships as part of public projects. That work is underway, Madam Speaker, and we're very optimistic about being able to make progress in the very near future.
Vancouver Hastings on a supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the problem is, and as the minister will know, that while the blueprint makes some reference, there is nothing concrete here about how we make that happen. And as the minister says, the province spends billions of dollars on capital projects itself. Yet there are no obligations in the bids on these projects for contractors to have any apprenticeship plans as a requirement of the bid. It doesn't exist. We know that in the past, such requirements, when they were in place, had a meaningful impact. When will the government put in place those requirements on bids for public projects, that there be an apprenticeship component to ensure that we're finding the job placements necessary to make skills training successful in this province, and will they do it now?
Minister for Jobs, Tourism and Skills Training.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And in fact, the government recognizes the critical importance of having a skills blueprint for the province. We have worked together in an unprecedented way, not simply across ministries in government, but also using the expertise provided by industry, also working closely with organized labour and alternative unions in the province to look at this issue. Everyone needs to step up, and as we actually reference all the time, it's all hands on deck. We actually need everyone in British Columbia to be a partner to actually manage the labour needs that we will face as we grow the economy. Madam Speaker, we continue, and in fact, the member opposite said there hasn't been an indication publicly. In my mandate letter, it is clearly laid out that we are looking at the issue of apprentices on public sector projects. But Madam Speaker, one of the things that we recognize on this side of the House is that before we simply say, let's just go do it, we actually need to make sure that it's not going to delay the projects in terms of time of completion, looking at additional costs to taxpayers in British Columbia. Madam Speaker, good work is being done. It's an issue this government brought forward as a result of the work with organized labour and others, and we look forward to being able to discuss the outcomes very shortly.
Member for Nelson Creston.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I hear what the minister is saying, but after 14 years, what British Columbians want is real action from this government. This isn't a radical idea, Honourable Speaker. The Ontario government gets it. They are increasing apprentices in their infrastructure projects. The federal government gets it and are moving to increase apprenticeships in publicly funded projects. And the Premier's own LNG working group gets it. They recommended that at least 25% of trades jobs on public infrastructure projects and LNG projects be filled by apprentices. So, Madam Speaker, why is the BC Liberal government refusing to take this simple step that would drastically increase opportunities for skills training in our province?
Minister for Jobs, Tourism and Skills Training.
Well, Madam Speaker, one thing that I'm very encouraged about in British Columbia is that we're in a period of time where we actually have jobs looking for people instead of people looking for jobs, Madam Speaker. We have made it clear, and I think we're having a moment, Madam Speaker, of heated agreement in the chamber. I've said clearly, and we have said from the moment the recommendation was brought forward from the Liquefied Natural Gas Working Group that suggested as a government we consider this idea, we said that we notionally agreed with the principle and that there was homework to do. And I think most British Columbians want to be assured that when we create public policy that brings new expectations of industry in this province, that we actually consider, does it cost more? Does it take longer? What does industry think about that? How do we work with organized labor? That is exactly the work that is underway as we speak.
Nelson Preston on a supplemental.
Madam Speaker, just a reminder to members opposite that they are 9th in job creation in the private sector in this country. That's right. That's the fact. And what we are talking here about apprenticeships is basic stuff. It doesn't matter how many people we put through colleges and technical schools. If they can't get the apprenticeships they need to get fully certified in their trade. Again, to the Minister of Jobs, when will the BC Liberals get it? When will they follow recommendations by the Premier's own LNG working group and give British Columbians the apprenticeships they need to get the jobs?
Minister for Jobs, Tourism and Skills Training.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. And once again, as I said to the member opposite, we are considering the policy, the implications of policy changes. And in fact, those recommendations have come forward. But in the meantime, Madam Speaker, we have been working closely with the Industry Training Authority as they look at how they support apprentices on the ground and encourage more apprentices and employers. And in fact, Madam Speaker, very recently, the Industry Training Authority hired 6 new apprenticeship advisors to work with industry, to work with employers, to work with students, to ensure that we're encouraging more apprenticeships in the province. Madam Speaker, we have also announced $6.8 million in new critical training seat funding. Madam Speaker, this is a significant challenge for British Columbia. We need to make sure that there are a number of issues, a number of ways we look at providing the workforce of the future. Apprenticeship is certainly critical to our skills training blueprint. And Madam Speaker, as I've said 3 times previously, we support the principle, we're working on the homework, and we look forward to discussing it very shortly, Madam Speaker.